NBA team grades. We're grading NBA teams halfway through the season. We're basically at the 40 game mark now. So we are going to grade every single team in the NBA and explain why we gave them a grade. So let's start from basically from the East all the way to the West down. Let's start with the Cavaliers. I gave them
Oh,
an A plus.
yeah. Cavs, they get an A plus. They've been playing very good this season. They're building off their success from last season, and on top of that, they've low key improved. Evan Mobley has improved. Jared Allen has improved. Darius Garland has improved. The whole team has. And then and their defense is amazing this year. So yeah, I give them an A.
Yeah, I gave them an A plus. It's really not the defense; it's the offense. The offense has been the bright spot really this year. The defense is still great, like you said, but everybody else has been playing good. They've been sacrificing this year, and that's the reason why they are either first or second best in the league, depending on how people want to put them at. The Cavs have been amazing. They've been consistent all year around, so they deserve an A plus. The next team, the Boston Celtics. I gave them an A minus.
I still give them a solid A. Um, I think even though they just had this little lapse in the road these last like week or two. They still are the champs. They still are the team to beat. And they still are one of the deepest teams, probably besides OKC. One of the deepest teams in the league. So yeah, I give them A.
I only gave them an A minus because I feel like they're not as dominant as they was last year. Like last year, they were dominant. This year, they're still like really good. But Brian Scalabrine just said people aren't scared of Boston no more. They're not scared of them. He said that yesterday. They're not scared of them. I'm not
I don't think
saying
they were
that.
scared of them regardless. Even last year, I don't think
No, I think
teams were
they.
really
they I think
scared of them.
I think they did fear them last year because last year they was everybody was healthy. Everybody this year, everybody been healthy, but Porzingis was hurt at the beginning of the year. Drew Holiday's play has stepped down a little bit. Jaylen Brown and Tatum are still the same. Derek White, they're still the same, but they're not as dominant as they was last year. Like they were really good last year. This year they're still really good, but not as like this. So if they had the Cavs record, I would have gave them an A plus. But they're 28-12 and they're 14-7 at home. I don't even think they lost 7 games at home last year. So it's been hurting them. So I mean, I still gave them an A minus. Next team, the New York Knicks. I gave them a B plus.
I'll give the New York Knicks an A minus.
Hmm.
I think that cat trade worked really well for them. Only reason I wouldn't put them up with an A with the Celtics and the Cavs is because they are liability defensive wise. I mean, I know you got OG and you got Hart and you got Mikal Bridges, but they defense really hasn't been up to par. I mean, their offense has been an upgrade this year. But they're still beatable, because they don't have any defense like they did last year. So I'll get them an A minus.
Last year the defense was pretty good. This year they just don't got no rim protection. The rim protection is bad. Cats don't rim protect. And I was watching a stream, and somebody said you would think with Cat's length and size, he would be able to rim protect, but he don't do it. He don't. Cat is
It's
basically like
crazy because he
seven
was
foot.
when he came out of college, they were calling him a shot blocker. They were highlighting him on his defense when he came out of college. And it's like once he got in the league, it was like all that went out the window.
But I gave them a B plus because I think they're still at the top of the East. But we came into the year, well, at least me, I said, man, this is the second best team in the East. I expected them to be up there kind of close to where the Cavs was. I would say it should be flip flop. The Cavs should be 27-15, and the Knicks should probably be 34-5. They haven't. They've been kind of inconsistent. Yeah, Cat and Jalen Brunson have been doing their thing. Mikal Bridges has had some up and downs all year. Josh Hart has been consistent. But like you said earlier, the defense is not good. They don't have no rim protection. They're waiting on Mitchell Robinson to come back eventually, whatever that is. So I just think the Knicks, they could get an A, but I'm gonna stick with a B plus. I think a B plus is I think it's pretty good. I'm not upset at that. The next team, the Orlando Magic, I gave them an A.
Yeah, Orlando Magic, they get an A. They've been hooping this season, and even without their best players, they still found ways to win games. I think part of that is coaching, and I think part of that is the culture. So yeah, I give them an A. The Magic have been doing very well, especially for a team that's been depleted of their best players all season.
Yeah, man, I gave them an A because when, like you said, when everybody got hurt, they were still a good team. They still stayed afloat. France was basically an all-star candidate. He goes out, and they still won some games. They still win some games, and yeah, and I don't think a lot of people they're fifth right now, but at one point they were basically like third in the East. And I
Hmm.
don't think they, and I don't think a lot of people predicted them to be third in the East. We thought they would be like, you know, good, maybe six seed. I probably thought they'd be six seed, but they're in contention to get the fourth seed and host a playoff series. So I gave them an A. Like they have been good. And their role players have stepped it up in the absence of all their best players getting hurt. And you got to give them credit for that. The next team, the Milwaukee Bucks, I gave them a C minus.
I give the Milwaukee Bucks a B. I mean, they started off the season really bad.
Yeah,
Um, but yet they've picked it up. They've definitely picked it up. They've won some games. They've beaten some good teams recently. Doc Rivers has been doing his job. Him and Dame and Giannis have been doing more pick and rolls. Giannis has been playing like an MVP, and Dame has been playing like the Dame we all know and love. Um, yeah, so I give him a B. I give
yeah,
him a B.
you nice. They deserve a C because they're mid. They're barely there. Yeah, they picked it up. But I don't think we should have said the Milwaukee Bucks had picked it up. They shouldn't have been down in the beginning in the first place. It's not like everybody was hurt outside of Chris Middleton. Freaking Bobby Portis, Brooke Lopez, Dame and Giannis was still there. Why are we this bad? So they should have to have gone on this super run just to get back to 500. Like,
I mean, no, they 22-17. They fourth from the East right now.
yeah, well, that's only because that's just the East. That's really just because it's the East. But I'm saying they shouldn't have been. We shouldn't have said the Milwaukee Bucks have picked it up lately anyway. That's what I'm saying. Because they're too talented to be saying that. We haven't said the Boston Celtics have picked it up lately because the Boston Celtics have been good all year. The Bucks just honestly, the Bucks just got good. They would because they just got good. Like what was it like maybe mid like last month? Like they
Yeah,
just
so like a
got
month
here.
ago.
Yeah, they just got here. So I'm not deserving you to get you don't deserve to get a B, at least from me. I give you a C though, a C minus, like because y'all should be better than 22 and 17. Y'all better than that, especially when y'all got a top 3 MVP candidate. Nah, you don't get it from me. The next team, the Indiana Pacers, I gave them a C
Now,
minus.
yeah, them I'm giving them a C. They've been mid all year. They've been disappointing all year. I believe a lot of people had them not dropping this low. But a lot of people probably had them between 4 through 6. I mean, right now they're 6, but they could easily be 9 or 8. Um, so yeah, I give them a C. They've been mid this year. Tyrese hasn't been the Tyrese from last year or the Tyrese that we know and love. Um, yeah, so I give them a C. They've been hella mid.
They're basically in the same boat as Milwaukee. They were kind of bad in the beginning of the year, and then they have picked it back up to basically being 22 and 19. So they're basically in that same boat. Like Tyrese has played better. That whole team has played better, but in the beginning of the year, they were bad. And coming off of conference finals appearance, even though a lot of people didn't think they should have been there, it don't matter. They went to conference finals. We thought they would be at least a top team in the East, and they was in the beginning of the year. Yes, you guys have picked it up, but you deserve to get a C minus because you guys were up and down majority year, but you guys have picked it up. So, they deserve a C. If they were at least decent all year, I probably would have gave them a B. But they played better and deserve a C. The next team, the Miami Heat, I gave them a D.
Yeah, I to be generous, I give them a D plus. The Miami Heat. They are not the Miami Heat of the whole of the old the grit and grind and win tough games. And part of that's because of Jimmy. I feel like that whole culture is low key breaking apart as we speak. The Heat, they hadn't even been mid this year. They've been one of the weakest teams. And I know they're number 9 right now, but they can easily be out of the playing contentions easily. I mean, Tyler Hero is a bright spot for them, and Bam was supposed to come in this year with a new improved offensive game. That did not happen. Um, so yeah, I give him a D, D plus.
I just gave them a straight D. I even add the plus. I was asking, do D plus even exist? But I didn't even give him a D. I didn't even give him D plus. But yeah, they deserve a D. Tyler Hero is your best player. I don't think a lot of people thought Tyler Hero was going to be their best player. We thought Jimmy was coming in here, after all that nonsense happened in the offseason. He comes in here on basically a contract year, and we thought he would play. You thought he would play good. That is not the case. He has done a lot of nonsense, and now he's suspended, but he's supposed to come back. But Jimmy has been in and out the lineup. Tyler Hero has been great for them. I give you that. Bam, like you said, the offense. We thought he's shooting more threes. That has happened from the Olympics. That has happened, but offense, he's only giving you 15 points per game. I think Bam really should be giving you at least 20.
Yes,
At
20 for
least
sure.
20. He's
Yes,
not
20
giving
for
you
sure.
that. Terry Rozier has been a disappointment because Pat Riley said that was their acquisition of the year because Terry Rozier didn't play like all of last year, really. So Jaime Jaquez has taken a step back. I thought he was going to come back in sophomore year and be decent. That hasn't been the case. This team has not been that good. They just haven't. And they really deserve a D. Like they probably should deserve an F. But I give them a D though. The next team, the Detroit Pistons, I gave them a B plus.
I don't give my Detroit Pistons an A. My Detroit Pistons deserve an A. They have turned around their organizations from last year. Last year, how many games did they win?
What was
No more
it?
than 20. I know
14?
that.
I think it was
Yeah.
14. It had to been
So from
14.
14 to now 21. That's amazing.
Mhm.
Especially at this time of the year. I think they did a hell of a job with grabbing JB Bickerstaff. And JB Bickerstaff, he helped unlock Jaden Ivey. He helped that team start to play defense. They're still young and they're still trying to find ways to win, but they've been stringing along close games. I like the acquisitions that they picked up in the offseason. I think the Pistons did a really good job of rebuilding that team. I still think they are like a year or two away from really contending for real, for something in the playoffs. But um, I like where they're going so far. I like their trajectory.
I did give them an A because I'm still waiting to see. Because I'm not wishing no bad on them, but let's say they become back to being the old Pistons, the old, then we go at the end of the year, then we give it them like a D. But after just going through the year now and being 21 and 19, I said the Pistons deserve a B plus. K has been great, all star in my opinion. Malik Beasley, the acquisition of Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway, maybe even Tobias somewhat, have been good for the Pistons. Asur still needs to get back fully healthy. Jalen Durant, for some apparent reason, has not been like he was
Yeah,
like his
he's took
couple
a
of years.
step back. Yeah.
He's taking a step back. And
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but the Pistons overall have been a really good team. And we could probably finally say the Pistons are officially back. We can actually
Mhm.
say that now. I'm not gonna give them an A like you, but they do deserve at least a B plus. And I feel like if you would have told me this 2 years ago, they probably would have never got a B plus from me.
No, they wouldn't have.
The next team I got is the Atlanta Hawks. I gave them a C minus,
Mm,
unless they deserve a B, but I gave them a C
yeah, I was
minus.
gonna say they deserve like a low B because they've exceeded expectations. Even though we both thought they was gonna be mid, they low key exceeded my expectations. I didn't think they would at least be 8 in the power standings right now. I thought they in the Eastern Conference standings right now. I thought they at least be 10 or 11, still fighting for a play in. But Trey's been good this year. Quinn Snyder has put together a good team with surrounding him with Dyson Daniels um and Jalen Johnson and the rookie. Um, so I'll give him like a low B pro, so like a B minus because they've exceeded my expectations.
I gave them a C minus because I think they are still mid. Like they are only 21-19, so they're literally 2 games away from being mid. They're 2 games away from being 2 losses away at least from being mid. Trey has been great. Jalen Johnson has been great. Dyson Daniels has been great for them. I don't think they probably did think this of him, but I don't think a lot of people thought he was gonna be doing all this. They're still sometimes they still lose to weak teams. Man, losing to the Wizards at the beginning of the season is crazy. Still to this day. Still to
Nasty
this
work.
day. But they still like they still be losing to weak teams that they're probably better than. And then they're that team that lose to the weak teams but could beat the good teams. I don't know how that works, but that's just how it are. But I still think the Atlanta Hawks are still like a mid team. They're probably gonna stay in this spot. They're probably gonna be in play in all year. Like that's probably what they're gonna be. So that's basically what they was last year, mid. So I gave them a C minus. The next team, the Chicago Bulls, a D
I'm
minus.
give yeah, I was gonna say I want to give them an F, if we being honest, but I'll go D just because they my hometown. But me personally, I think they need an F. The Bulls is one of the most historic franchises, and they fail us every single year. Every single year. We had that one good year when Lonzo was healthy, but other than that, we have not done anything. The Bulls are one of the most historic franchises, and they're one of the most horrible franchises. Um, because ain't no way we 18-23 with Zach Levine, Kobe White, Vucevic, and what we got? We got Josh Giddey. It's like the roster isn't that bad, but it's like they can't string together games. I think they need to clean house. So Billy Donovan needs to be gone. Zach, Vucevic, all of them.
The defense, they got the second worst defense, well, scoring defense in the league. They give up 120 points per game. You're not going to win, and they only average 117. You're not going to win that way, bro. The Bulls, you can honestly say they probably been underwhelming. I think they probably are better than this. Like they're probably.
Yeah,
I don't care what no one says. Even though we thought the Pistons were going to improve, I think a lot of people would say that at least before the season that the Bulls should be
be
better than
better
the
than the
Pistons,
Pistons. Yeah.
and they're not. They're not better than them. They probably should be better than the Heat, not better than them. The Hawks have beaten them multiple times this year, and they should probably be better than the Hawks, or at least in that same category. But every time I look up, they lose it to some weak teams that they're not supposed to. Zach LaVine could drop 30 all he won. That team's still not good enough. It's just not. Like Vucevic is having a career year. Kobe White is still having a decent year. Josh Giddey, yeah, he's there. He's just there. But the Bulls probably should be better than this, but they're not good. Like they're just not. The only reason they're probably in play is because Philly is bad. They're terrible. That's
Hmm.
really the only reason. So the Bulls a D minus. The next team, the Philadelphia 76ers. F.
It's low key
No,
hard trying to.
you know it's an F,
It's
bro.
hard trying to grade them, bro, because they
It's
all
not
been
hard.
injured the entire season. That's like
But
the Pelicans. The Pelicans would be hard to grade because they've been injured all season. If they were fully healthy, we wouldn't give them no D or
But they're
no
not.
F,
So you
not like
have to
that.
go. But what are we going off now? It's they. You know they are an F. You know they're an F. They have been terrible this year. They've been terrible.
Yeah, they suck. They
They've
and I was
been
so high
bad.
on them. I was
You
so high
sure
on them.
was. You even
But I
said Paul
but
George
but
could
I
be the best
did give a
player.
disclaimer. I
Nah,
said barring injuries, I said if they were all healthy, this will be a good team. Banking on them being healthy. They have not been healthy the entire season.
yeah, you were
No,
so
but none of
high.
them have.
You thought Paul George was just gonna be the best player all of a sudden. I don't know where that came from. You was smoking. You was definitely smoking that day. You was smoking that day. Simone, was he smoking that day? He said that nonsense. He had to be. He had to be. But no, the 76ers deserve an F because even with Tyrese Maxey and Paul George, they still be getting beat down. They don't even put up a fight. Bruh, I thought this was gonna be a really good team. I thought they fixed the bench. The bench has been terrible. Bench has been
Mm-hmm.
bad. Jared McCain has gotten hurt. Joel Embiid has been in and out of the lineup. But you would think, even when it's at least two of them, they will be bad. They will at least be decent. They're still not even decent.
I mean, they
It's
don't have no
bad.
back. They don't have a backup big.
Andre
Like you
Drummond,
said,
but he,
he's been hurt. He's been hurt.
but I mean, they signed him though.
So like I mean, if we really think about that roster, not really that good. Yabusele, he's all right. Jared
So
McCain, he was
much.
good, but he's gotten injured. Ricky Council, they need to. I think they should be playing Ricky. They should have been playing Ricky Council more. Um, like you said, we thought the bench would have been an upgrade, but the bench is not it at all. And so, like, when you don't have really good players around Maxey and Paul George, what more can they do? Especially if Paul George been playing inconsistent this year to start off.
Been
So
terrible. Before we go to the next team, from the Orlando Magic to the end of this month, they will be playing the Magic. They lost. Thunder. They lost. The Knicks. They lost. They face the Pacers next, the Bucks, the Nuggets, the Cavs, the
it's
Bulls,
a
the
tough
Lakers,
schedule.
the Kings, and the
Yeah,
Nuggets.
they got a tough schedule.
And the
I only heard like 1 or 2 wins out of the.
only reason they can still make it is because they're in the East. If they was in the West, this wouldn't even be a conversation. But Philly is an F. They have been very disappointing this year. Very.
Yeah.
The next team, the Brooklyn Nets. They're a D minus. They're not an F.
Hold on. How you get them a D, but you get a Philly a F?
The only reason I gave first of all, Philly gets an F because we thought they was going to be at least good in the beginning of the year. They were terrible all year. At least I can say with the Nets, they exceeded expectations at the beginning of the year. No one thought I think if we go back to the over under, we probably picked the under on their wins. They're gonna beat the over. So that's the only reason why they get a D minus because
Yeah, I gotta look back and see what it was.
Because they exceeded expectations on their wins. Bro, the Brooklyn Nets have 14 wins already. I don't think no one projected them to have 14 wins. They were playing better than what a lot of people thought in the beginning of the year. That's just facts. So that's why they get a D minus.
I don't know, dog. I don't know if I can get them no D. I mean, I ain't mad at a D minus because D minus, like a D minus versus a D is two different things. But like, I low key want to give them an F because, bro, they haven't even like. First off, y'all supposed to be tanking to get Cooper Flag. Y'all not even tanking right. How you not tanking right? Y'all supposed to be 6-32. Y'all want Cooper Flag so bad. Y'all supposed to be 6-32, right? Oh, what's the Pelicans? The Pelicans got 10 games. Okay, so yeah, y'all supposed to be 6-32 right now. Y'all not even tanking right. Y'all not even doing y'all job right. Like, come on, dog.
Bro, the Nets. Where are the Nets, bro? Their over under is 20. They're probably going to get a 20 wins.
They're
So
gonna be
yes,
good.
that's why I'm
They're
saying they were better than what we thought. So that's why they get a D minus. Oh, they've been super bad recently. But if you would have told me basically at the halfway point the Nets would be 14-27, I'd be like, what? They should be 6-32 like the Wizards, but they're not. The Sixers, they are not supposed to be 15-24. They're not. They're supposed to be at least 22-17 like the Bucks, but they're not.
I even say 500. They at least supposed to be 500.
At least 500, but they're not even 500. The next team, the Toronto Raptors, F.
Yeah, the Raptors are F. The Raptors definitely have underachieved this season. Granted, quickly as was injured to start the season off, and RJ Barrett had some time off. Then Scotty Barnes was injured, but that team isn't good regardless. Even with just them three not playing, like they don't. I mean, you got Grady Dick and Chris Boucher, but and Polo, but this team is not good at all. I'm surprised this team got 10 wins. If we be honest,
But they just got the 10th win last night, so.
I'm surprised they look like one. They look like the Wizards.
No, the Wizards are terrible. The Wizards are terrible. But no, they are F because I did think they would be better than this. But like, yeah, you said it. They miss some time quickly, but you still got Scotty, you still got RJ. Grady Dick has played really good. He was in a candidate for like a most improved player. He was in the
Improve,
beginning
yeah.
of the year. He was in there. He's come back down to earth. Jakob has been pretty good for them. But I mean, they said it. They're not trying to win. They this is a rebuilding year anyway. But they're a free W coupon because they was almost, I think, maybe like what a month ago or something. They was like on the 10-game losing streak. So they're F, man. The Raptors are terrible. The next team, the Charlotte Hornets, they're an F. They're not good either, bro.
I'll say I gave them a D, and only reason why I gave them a D is for optimistic purposes only. Because even though they are 9-28, Brandon Miller has missed some time, Melo missed some time, but I believe in their coaching. I think they have a really good coach on their hands. I think he's starting to turn around the culture. Um, and they've played, even though their record doesn't show it to me, they've played better than what they played last year. Because last year it didn't look like they cared at all. Like if they got blown out, they was gonna get blown out. But now this year, if they was getting blown out, they at least trying to fight back. So they got some type of fight in them now since they got Charles Lee. So that's the only reason why I would get on the D is because I'm optimistic about the team turning around.
What they got to do with the halfway point? What they got to do with
Yeah,
that?
they've been playing better than what they've been playing last year. Since the halfway point, they've been playing
I
better than what they
guarantee
was
it was
last year.
probably the same. I guarantee it was probably the same though.
I don't think so.
If I go back and look, I guarantee you is either worse or damn near the same at
The
the
record
halfway.
might
That's what
look
I'm
the
saying.
same, but the record and stuff might look the same, but the play can be different. So like instead of like, yeah, we lost this game, but instead of losing it by 20, we lost by 10 or we lost by 5 or something like that. Like that's totally different. They giving more effort. When they had Steve Clifford, there was no effort on that court whatsoever. I'm just out here. They did the whole Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I won't get fined.
And the Nets get an F, right? From you?
The Nets? Nah, what did I get as? I think I did give them an F. I think I did.
All right. Just making sure. 9-28. Worse in the league. Second worst record in the league. Could get you a
Bro,
D
the Nets
minus.
can't even do them damn. They did they damn
It don't
job
matter
right.
though. It don't matter though. And you was hesitant on giving the Sixers the F, and they've been terrible. But with the Hornets, who are 9-28 at the halfway point, you're giving them grace, even though they've been bad. They only have 9 wins, brother. 9. Yes, I get it. They're playing better, but from the halfway point, they still damn near probably got the same record as last year.
I give them
They've
give
been
them the
terrible.
D.
They have been terrible still. They've been bad. They've been a bad team. This team's an F. Yes, I've seen some improvement, Charles Lee, yada yada yada. But the Hornets ain't done nothing. Yes, Mark Williams has come back. Brandon Miller had a good year. Has been having a good year, but he's been hurt. LaMelo has been hurt as per usual. Miles Bridges is having an off year. Like it feels like it's the same, almost the same team. They're still losing. Like it don't matter if you lose by 10, you're still losing. Because that's what you told me last week when I said the Magic was barely won. You said, well, you won, right? So, like I said, they still losing, right? So you gotta give that same energy. Don't matter if you lose it by 10, you still taking the L. So the Hornets deserving that. They're 9-28. The last team in the East, the Washington Wizards. F.
Yeah, they get that. That's self-explanatory. Any them and the Pelicans are self-explanatory.
The Washington Wizards are 6-32. They're on 11. They're on a 7-game losing streak. I don't even know what they're doing. If we're being honest, I honestly don't know. They just have players. Jordan Poole has had a good year. I give you that. He's had definitely a better year than last year. But they're still losing. They're 6-32. They're probably going to struggle to get that 10th win. I don't know when they're getting that 10th win. I really don't.
they gonna get at least 10 this year. I don't know if they're gonna crack 15. That might be hard.
Their next schedule is they got the Warriors, Kings, Lakers, Clippers, Suns, Mavericks, Raptors, and Lakers to end
They
this
could
month.
probably beat the Raptors.
Yeah, they could.
Probably
They could.
Rockets.
I would probably pick the Raptors, but the Wizards deserve an F. They are F. Now we're heading to the Western Conference. The first team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, A plus.
Yeah, they get an A+, bro. That should be self-explanatory too. Even without Chet, and now even without Chet, they've been playing amazing. Their defense has been amazing. They've beat the top teams in the league. Like, what more can you ask for them?
Yeah, man, the Thunder, they are the best team, honestly, arguably in the NBA. I think a lot of people thought they would still be good, but to say they would be 33-6 is actually, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people thought that, but they are 33-6. Shea is having another MVP year. Chet, like you just said, has been out. Isaiah Hartenstein was out for a minute. Now he's out again, and they're still probably going to be a good team. So the Thunder deserve an A plus from me. The next team, the Houston Rockets. I gave them an A plus.
Yeah, they deserve A+ too. I did not think the Houston Rockets will ever be number 2 in the Western Conference. I thought at best they can be 4, maybe 5 and 6, but I did not see 2. I did not see 2 at all. They definitely exceeded all expectations from everyone this year.
Yeah, the Rockets. I did have a hot take saying that they will be top four in the West, and I think that's gonna stay true all year. I think they're gonna be top four in the West all year. Jalen Green has stepped his play up. Fred has been decent. Alperen Sengun could be an All Star this year, and Amin Thompson. You talked about him earlier, man. He's one of the reasons why they are good, especially in the starting lineup. He is one of the reasons. And Ime Udoka in year two with the Rockets, he was they were 41-41 last year. Now they're 27-12. So they're gonna probably get 50 wins, most likely, or at least high 40s. So they deserve an A plus because they have turned it around. The next team, the Memphis Grizzlies. I gave them a B plus.
Yeah, I think the Grizzlies they've been good this season. They've been around like a B+. Especially since Ja missed some games and they were still winning games without him. I mean, they've been doing that since even though he misses games. Um, but the Grizzlies has been good. Even especially with their acquisitions of their rookies and Jalen Wells and Zach E. They've played okay and they helped that team be the third seed in the West. I mean, I don't think no one had them at 3 though. They
Yeah.
probably had them in the mid, like 4 through 6. So they've exceeded expectations as well.
Yeah, man, the Memphis Grizzlies, they've been Jaren Jackson is you can argue Jaren Jackson should be an all-star. He's having a
Yeah,
really
no,
good year this year.
he low key's been their best player this entire
Yes.
year.
Yes, he has been their best player. Desmond Bain has been good. Job when he has played, he has been good. But like you said, third in the West, I don't think a lot of people expected that. So, and Zach Edey has been good, and all their other rookies have been good for them when they get minutes. And to see them third in the West, it's like
With no
y'all are
GG
really
Jackson
good.
too.
And
GG
they
Jackson hadn't even played.
and Vince Williams too. He was good for them
Yeah,
last year. So they don't even have them two, and they're still third in the West. So you got to give Taylor Jenkins credit, and you got to give all them other players credit.
they
They're
bench
they're
low
really
key
good.
deep because they still got Luke Kennard, Scotty
Yep.
Pippen,
Yeah.
Huff.
Yeah, they got a lot
Yeah,
of good players on that team.
they got a lot of good players.
So they
Marcus
deserve a B
Smart.
plus. The Denver Nuggets. I gave them a B minus. But if they get a C, I have no problem with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I low key give them a C+ because like they haven't been that good. They have like okay, let me say put it like this. They haven't been the Denver Nuggets that we know. They have not been a dominating team like we would think they would have. They have been a top 3 team like we thought they would have been. They've been barely even though they have been winning games, they've been barely scraping by winning games. Um and granted a W is a W, but they've been scraping by when they shouldn't be scraping by a team they're supposed to beat. Um, but they still, I give them a C because they're still a top 5 team in the West. They just aren't performing how we all thought they were.
Yeah, and I think that is the reason why they got a B. I gave them a B minus because they still are. They're top four. They're top four seed in the West. They're not dominant as they was last year. they were literally like clearly like number one, number two. I don't even think that this year from them. I don't think they're like the best team in the West or the past couple of years. It's just something I think is their bench. Their bench really hasn't been good outside of Westbrook. Really, he's been a vocal. He's been probably their second best player, honestly, which is crazy. I don't think a lot of people thought he'd be their second best player throughout this season, but he has. And even with Jamal Murray not playing like how he is, how he was, and Aaron Gordon been in and out the lineup, Michael Porter has been decent, but not really. They're still fourth in the West, and that's because of Jokic been great. Like that's
Yeah,
really
you've been
why, because
keeping
he's
them
been
afloat.
so great. So you give them credit, and it's like they never. If they was like how the Bucks were, like the Bucks were bad at one point, and then they moved up. The Nuggets were always good. They just would never
Hmm.
dominant enough to be like at the top of the West. So that's why they deserve a B plus. Well, B minus from me at least. The next team, the Los Angeles Clippers. I gave them a B minus.
I give the Clippers a C plus.
Okay.
I honestly thought the
I thought you
Clippers
was gonna
were
give
gonna
him an
be.
A. I thought you was gonna give him an A, low key. I ain't gonna lie.
Only reason why I'm giving a C because they started off really good. I didn't think they would have been 5 to be honest with you. I thought they were gonna be like 7, 8, 9, 10, like in the play-in. But they've been sneaky good. So no, matter of fact, I'll give them a B. I'm not. I'll take it back. I give them a B because they started off good. They fell off a little bit, but they still were able to keep a top 5 seed in the West without Kawhi. And now you got Kawhi back. I mean, he's not going to play back to backs, and he still may miss more games, to keep him healthy for the playoffs. But they've been keeping us afloat. Norman Powell and James Harden have been doing their thing. And the Clippers, they've been in every game, well, almost every game this season. So yeah, I'll give them a B. They've been hooping.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like I thought, you said C. I was like, wow. I thought you were gonna give him an A because you the one that been saying this is a sneaky team. They could go in
Yeah,
the
they are.
playoffs.
They still are a sneaky
They
team.
make a run. I mean, Norman Powell has been their best scorer. James Harden's been the somewhat. He's not Houston. I'm not going with that no more. He's not that guy no more. And he hasn't been dropping 30s and 40s, but he's been he's still been really good. 20 and like 10 every night, but the fact the Clippers are basically a fifth seed and Kawhi has basically missed majority of the year, I think that deserves you to at least get a B minus. Not an A though. Maybe if they were like top 3 or top 4, I'd probably give them an A. But since they are at least a top 6 seed, I think that deserves. I think that gives it deserve. They deserve to get a B minus in my opinion. The Clippers are being good. I didn't think they would be this. I thought they would be mid. I thought they'd just be mid,
I
but
thought they'd be where the
they've been
Hawks are at right now.
yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I thought they'd be kind of like where the Hawks are, but they're better than that. They're still a good team. They're still a good team. I said in the beginning of the year, I said when you look at the roster really ain't that bad. Like I said, I was like, this team really ain't that bad if you really look at it. But they've been good. The next team, the Dallas Mavericks. I gave them a C minus.
Yeah, I'll give them a C. And that's only because Luca. I mean, they're number 7 right now, and they're technically one game away from being top 6 team. But Luca's been injured majority of the season. Has been playing through injuries majority of the season. Kyrie just got hurt, so they gonna have their little. They have their little slump. But I'll just give them that because they'll see because they've been losing games. So yeah, and Luca hasn't been healthy. So they've been a mid team so far, halfway through the season.
I feel like majority of the year they've been mid. I know they were at the top of the West at one point, but the majority of the year they were mid. Luca wasn't playing like Luca in the beginning of the year. Kyrie was still playing good. Everybody else was playing decent, but they weren't like how people thought. You come off a finals appearance and people were saying, "Hey,
Yeah,
the Nuggets could be
top
hey at
4,
least
top 5.
yeah top 4, yeah top 4 in the West," and they have it. And yes, Luca is hurt and Kyrie's hurt. Now they're really going to start losing games. And we thought, I think a lot of people thought the Mavericks would be decent without Luca. Man, they suck without him. They're bad.
Yeah,
They're not a good team without
yeah.
Luca and Kyrie in the lineup. They're just a bunch of
I
role
mean,
players.
because I was just gonna say, besides Kyrie and Luca, who else is gonna score for y'all? I mean,
Spencer
you got
Dinwiddie.
Clay. You got.
I mean, yes. Who else could? Who else
I
on
mean,
that team could really get their own
he,
shot?
he has been scoring for them, but are we really counting on Spencer Dinwiddie to be one of our consistent scorers?
No.
No, no. That's so. So it's like besides Besides Luca and Kyrie, they really don't have no consistent scores. That's why they been losing. The
Yeah,
defense has still been okay, but they ain't got enough offensive power.
yeah. So the Mavericks they get a C minus. The next team, the Los Angeles Lakers, a C minus.
Yeah, I give the Lakers a C. They're the same as last year. They're literally probably in the exact same spot they was last year.
They probably are low key. The Lakers are mid. The Lakers
Yeah,
are
they've been
very mid.
mid.
The
They
Lakers
started
are
off
very
the
mid.
season hot. They started off the season hot though. I thought they was gonna be a top 14. The way they was playing to begin the season, AD was
Mm.
having MVP like numbers, putting up 20s and 20s, and but they fell off since.
That bench isn't good. The shooting isn't really that good. It's really LeBron is
Same
still
old, huh?
same LeBron. AD was an MVP candidate at the beginning of the year, but get rid of D'Lo. Austin Reeves has stepped his play up probably the past month or so, but it's not good enough. They still need more pieces. But the Lakers so far, they haven't been really bad, but they haven't been really amazing. They're mid. The Lakers are mid team, so the Lakers they get a C minus from me. The Minnesota Timberwolves, I gave them a D minus.
Yeah, the Timberwolves they get a D for sure. They have definitely been underwhelming. Even though they got Julius Randle and we thought there could be some concerns on the offensive end, they just haven't looked good. They haven't looked good in no facet of the game. Offensive end, they haven't looked good. Defensively, they haven't looked good. And you traded for Randle, and he's not even in the closing lineups anymore. So this team just looks nasty in general. Like we said, like a week or two ago, it's a throwaway year.
Timberwolves are bad. I don't think they're bad. I think they're like below average. Like they're not like super good, but they're not really bad enough to be super bad. Like they're below average. Like they should be better than 21 and 19, but they're not. It's really just Ant that has to score for them. Dante DiVincenzo has stepped to play up recently because they moved
Mm-hmm.
Mike Conley. Because didn't I say I was like, shouldn't you move Mike Conley to the bench? And Lord behold, they did it. He hasn't gave you nothing all year. He hasn't. He just has. He looks old. Rudy Gobert is not having no type of Rudy Gobert defensive player of the years. Randall has been not good for them this year, but they haven't been so bad that they deserve an F. So they deserve a D minus. The next team, the Sacramento Kings, I gave them a D minus too.
Yeah, I think they only. I'll give them a C minus, and the only reason why I'm giving them a C minus is because of that win streak that they just had. Because to start the year off, they were terrible, and then once Doug Christie got there, he opened up the offense. I think he opened up DeMar a little bit, and that's why they found some success on the little 7 game win streak. But I'm only giving them a C minus because the little 7 game win streak that they had. They turned it around a little bit. Um, because we thought they were supposed to be better than what they are right now, too.
I thought they would be good, just not 20 and 20 though. They should be better than that. I think you didn't you say you had them like probably a top four seed in the West? They could potentially
I
be a
had
top four.
they could potentially be a top 4. I had
Okay,
them as
so
one of
yeah,
my dark horse teams too.
yes.
Them and the
So
Clippers.
and they haven't been none of the defense still bad. We thought that the addition of DeMar DeRozan was going to help. So far as at the halfway point, it's not. It really hasn't helped that much. The Kings, they fire Mike Brown. It's like y'all should be better than this, but y'all really not. Y'all just I can't even really say y'all mid. Like y'all really just haven't been a good team because at one point they were on a losing streak, then they go on a win streak. But they should be better than this. They deserve a D minus for me. The next team, the San Antonio Spurs, B minus.
I give them a C plus.
Mm.
I like what they've been doing so far to start the season. It was a little shaky at first, then they caught wind, and then um they just lost the other night. I like what Chris Paul has done with Wemby and the others, and we're forgetting they haven't had Pop all year. I'm not saying that um that they have a bad coach right now, but I believe if Pop was there, I think Pop would have done a lot of things differently. I think he would have called a lot of games differently, and that could have potentially led to more wins.
How
So
many
far
more
they've been.
wins? What?
I'll have
Four
to go
more
to.
wins?
I'll have to go to their schedule and see what games they could have won. But I think if Pop was there, they would have had more than 19 wins by now. Um, but I give him a C. I give him a C. I give him a C plus. They've been Victor's taking the next step. Victor's been really good. Chris Paul's been really good. Everybody's been playing well for them.
Just
It's
the
just the
fact they
West
got
is just so deep.
19, just the fact they got 19 wins is better than what a lot of people thought. Like we thought they would play better, but they're in the thick of the playing race. So that makes me give you a B minus. Victor been great. Chris Paul has helped them play better. Stephon Castle has played good when he gets the consistent minutes. So Devin Vassell just came back off injury, but he's been good. Like I mean, the fact you're
They
19 and
literally,
20,
yeah, they literally one game out of ninth.
yeah.
They could
So
be
the
literally,
fact
and
that
then
well, they're a half game out of ninth. They're a
they
half game.
having
Yeah.
three
So the
games
fact,
and they seventh. They
yeah. So
can
the
really
fact,
jump fifth.
yeah, I don't know
22
if
and
they
because
get.
the Clippers are
I ain't.
22 and 17. That's
I
only
don't
three
think.
games.
I don't think they're jumping. I don't think they jump in fifth. That's just me. But I
That's only three
just the
games.
fact that they're in the thick of the play-in race and gives you it says I said that they deserve at least a B minus. The Spurs are decent. They're okay. Their Spurs are okay. The Phoenix Suns D minus.
Yeah, they deserve a D, bro. This has been a failure. This big three so far, as between Bill, Book, and KD, has been a failure. Now if they've got Nick Richards, maybe that helps eliminate some of their defensive problems that they have. And maybe, but Bradley Bill's hurt now. Um, so hopefully the Suns can turn around. I'll give them a D though. They've started out this halfway mark of this season off on a rough start.
Bro, they're 19 and 20. They should not be. If anything, they should be a 6 seed. They're not even in the playoffs. A team with Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal are not in the playoffs. That shouldn't happen. You guys should be better than that. And yes, injuries, whatever. But y'all have at least had a two of them on the court at all times. And y'all still been losing. So how can I give you anything higher than a D? Like how? Like you guys have not been that good. Y'all should be better than that. Y'all should probably some people thought you guys were championship contenders. Now we don't even know if y'all gonna make the playoffs.
I think they
So
still gonna make the playoffs
I
though.
I
I
think
still think they're
so.
gonna make it.
I think so, but to some people, they probably think they ain't gonna make the playoffs. So I give them a D minus.
If they
Next
don't make the
team,
playoffs, then you break it up.
yeah. What we keeping all these people for? We can't even, we're getting so we get swept in the first round, then we can't make the playoffs with Kevin Durant and Booker and Bill. Come on now. The next team, the Golden State Warriors, D minus.
Yeah, the Warriors. I damn near want to give them an F. I damn near, but I give them a D only because they in the play-in right now. But that roster isn't good, and then the whole BS talking about we don't need to improve our roster, we don't need to trade anything, but that's BS. Like, stop lying. And then the fact that Steve Kerr isn't playing Kaminga, and at one point he was playing like 12 guys, it's a mess over there. It's a mess over there in Golden State.
The Warriors are they're not even mid. They're 20 and 20, but they are not like that type
No,
of
they're
mid.
not mid. No.
They are a bad team. Steph Curry is having a down year. Everybody on that team is having down years. This team is just not good. They're like maybe I don't think there's a chance that your hot take might come true for real, for real. The Spurs will make the playoffs and the Warriors won't. There's a realistic chance that's gonna happen. Like I can honestly say the Warriors might not make it because I can see the Spurs or the Thunder or the Suns passing them unless
Yeah.
they make a move. So the Warriors have been really bad. The Suns were destined to fail. Besides name recognition, they have nothing. No bench, no point guard, no center. Hold on, brother. Point guard, different story.
Yeah, the point guard is the only thing I said they got, but everything else you hit on the head. They ain't got no bench. They didn't have no center. They don't have a center. Maybe Nick Richards can help them out. But yeah, they've been nothing short of a failure.
We got three more teams, then pick 'em, then we can go. Next team, the Portland Trailblazers. I gave them an F, but if you gave them a D minus, I ain't upset at it.
Yeah, I'm giving my boys. I'm giving my boys a D. Um, it's like I was telling you earlier. Like, I don't know what's going on over there. DeAndre Ayton's minutes are fluctuating. They don't know if they want to start Scoot some games or bring him off the bench. Anthony has been in and out the lineup to start the season. Shaden Sharp was injured earlier in the season. It's like they have no true direction. And then on top of that, what's your team around? What's your team? What's your identity of your team? We don't have a team identity. It's just it's just a bunch of guys out there hooping, playing pickup. It look like they just at the rack hooping, bro. That's all it is. They got a lot of guys on their team with a lot of talent, but they ain't doing nothing with it. Um, I'm surprised that they got 13 wins. To be honest,
I agree with you
I thought
100%.
I'm surprised they got 13 wins, but yeah, I'll give them a D.
They basically just got a bunch of names, bunch of players, and a bunch of names with talent, and still be out there losing. Like you got Jeremy Grant, Denny Avnia, Scoot, Simon, Shane Sharp. You got a lot of talent, but still
Yeah.
haven't been good. Like you would think they would be better, but they not. They're still bad. They're still a bad team. And Chauncey Billups, I don't think this is gonna save his job. Like you say he's a good coach, but what has he done? Like I feel like what has he improved? Like they should be better. They not say they should be better, but I think we should see some improvement. And I feel like we haven't seen improvement. Like they
Well,
still are a bad team.
as far as like individual wise, like players individually, I've seen improvement. I've seen improvement from Shaden Sharp. I've seen improvement from Scoot Henderson. Anthony was already a player that he was by the time Chauncey came. Klingon has been playing better each and every game. So I've seen improvements individual. Kamara has improved. Um, so I've seen improvements individually. It's just as a team, nah, they have not improved. I just don't think Chauncey Billups is like a young team coach. I think he needs those veteran players. Because if we think about it, some of them people probably don't even know who Chauncey Billups is on the team. If we being realistic, Scoot Henderson probably's heard of Chauncey Billups before, but he probably never watched Chauncey Billups play. Same thing with Shaden Sharp. Same thing probably with Donovan Klingon. Like they probably don't even know who he is. So it's hard trying to listen to a coach where, yeah, he was a player's coach, but I don't know how good you really was. Yeah, they say you was good, but that don't mean nothing to me. These YNs different.
I don't care if you play good. Can you coach? I think that's all that
I
matters.
think
Can
he
you coach?
can. I think he can. It's
Can
just they young, bro. It's hard to
Th-
coaching young guys.
see? I don't want to do this, but the Blazers should probably be where the Spurs are. But the thing is, Wemby is so great. That's why he's up there giving them 19 wins. But if you go roster to roster, you could probably say the Blazers might have a more talented team, but they still only have 13 wins. They should probably have 19 wins where the Spurs are, but they don't. And Wemby,
It's
like I said, Wemby is so great. He has them at 19.
It's
But
culture too, though. The Spurs culture as in itself is a winning organization. Like the Blazers, they've won in the past before. But you don't really they two different organizations. You don't really consider the Trailblazers a really like a franchise like the Spurs. You know what I mean? The Spurs, they have a culture, they have an identity. You know what I mean? The Blazers don't have that at all.
we ain't gonna act like the Spurs weren't just trash for like the past like 3-4 years. Does that not exist?
Yeah, but we still believed in what the Spurs system as far as them developing players. They always know how to develop. They developed Dejounte Murray. They developed Tony Parker. They developed Manu, Tim Duncan, David Rob. They developed Kawhi. Developed hella players. Danny Green. Like, come on now. Like, who have the Trailblazers? You could say the Trailblazers are really developed. You can't say Dame because Dame was already good coming in. You can't say LaMarcus.
How
Um,
come we can't
um,
say them?
you can't say B Roy. You can't say
How,
because those
how come
players
we?
were already great before they came to that team.
So Dame was great coming out of Weber State.
Bro, the man went from
I
not
mean,
even knowing who he was, and then
so
he
he
went
was
from a
great.
top
I
a
mean,
lottery
he was
pick.
great. He was great. He
He
was a
put
great
up
player.
numbers at Weber State.
So
Yes,
he was
he
great.
put up
Okay,
amazing numbers
okay,
at Weber
okay,
State.
okay.
Hence
All
why
right,
he went in the lottery.
okay. Then why he ain't go in the top 5 then?
Because he went to Weber State. If he would have went to any other mid Division One school or a top Division One school, he probably would have been a top 5, top 3 pick.
Great is a strong word. I can say good, but great is crazy.
Bro, the Trailblazers have not really developed anybody. When you look at the Spurs, they've developed tons of players. Name me one player that the Blazers have developed.
Dame. They probably develop. You act like
No.
Dame was just gonna be amazing just coming in. He was still good, but it's not like he came in here and was dropping 30. He had to develop. He had to develop.
His rookie year, what did he do to the Houston Rockets?
He hit a game winner.
He gamed their ass. You go to the Spurs, when they drafted Kawhi, we did not think Kawhi was going to be this player that he was. They thought Kawhi was an okay player, and they turned him into an amazing player. When they got Danny Green, people didn't think shit of Danny Green. But once Danny Green started hooping in them playoffs, people considered Danny Green a good 3-and-D player. They developed him. He spent time in their G League. They worked him out. They got his shot better. Tony Parker, when Tony Parker came in, they didn't think nothing of Tony Parker. They said, who is this French guard? And Tony Parker became one of the best point guards in that franchise. Same thing with Manu. People didn't think too much of Manu, but now Manu is one of the best left-hand players to ever play in the NBA. Only people that you can say that they came in, they knew they were going to be good was Tim Duncan and David Robinson.
But if you speak high,
but David Robinson wasn't that skilled offensively before he got to the Spurs.
But my thing is, you keep hyping up Chauncey Billups being great. How come he can't develop these guys then? You just said he's a good.
He's developed.
But then why are they still bad? That's what I'm saying. Why are they still bad?
Because it's a team thing. It's a culture. You can help. I can still be a good coach and help people develop individually. But if we can't all put it together as a team, we're not going to be good. I can tell you everything that you need to know, need to do, and I can tell you all the winning formula. But if y'all don't follow it and y'all don't believe in it, we're not going to be a good team. You have to buy in. When it's the Spurs, you have to buy in or you're going to be kicked to the side. When DeJounte Murray first got drafted there, he was like, why are they playing guards that they got from overseas over me and I was a lottery pick? Like they was trying to break my character. They was trying to break me down. But he didn't let that happen. So it's two different organizations.
Dame came in the league averaging 19 points his rookie year. Then he's developed into basically a 25, 27, 30 point per game.
He was already good coming in. They didn't develop him at all. He came in averaging 20. How is they going to develop him and you came in averaging 20 as a fucking rookie? How's that development?
I cannot finish. He became a better 3-point shooter all by time on. That's development. He became a better passer. That's development. You act like he just came in and was just averaging 25 points, but that's not true, though. They have developed players. Maybe not to the Spurs, but they have developed some players. And probably I agree. Culture-wise, that makes a difference. But I'm not gonna act like the Spurs weren't just bad. Literally last year, they were bad. The Blazers, you can't tell me Chauncey Billups is this good coach. He's good coach, but they suck. Like they've been bad. They've been bad. And if Chauncey Billups, if he don't want to be there, he can basically say, hey man, I resigned from the organization. There's probably better opportunities for me. But he's choosing to stay, develop these players. They haven't done anything. They're still not a good team. So my thing is, Chauncey Billups is not the coach you probably think he is. Because if that was the case, these players, they would be better.
It's the same thing with Kobe, bro. When Kobe first came in, Kobe had that. He didn't do anything his rookie year because he barely played. But Kobe was going to develop into Kobe regardless of who the coach was. So any coach that had him, they weren't developing Kobe because Kobe had that mindset of he was going to be one of the best ever. So regardless of who his coach was, he was going to develop into who he was regardless. The same thing with Dame. It didn't matter who his coach was. Dame was going to be this player eventually anyways. He came in averaging 20 damn near as a rookie already. What more do you have to develop with him? He already had the mindset He already had the skill set. He had everything. All he needed was more time and experience. That had shit to do with coaching. Scoot Henderson, we thought Scoot was going to be amazing coming in his rookie year because he killed with the G League Ignite. Multiple people thought that. Analysts thought that. A lot of people across the board thought that. That's why he went 2. But he didn't. Then they got Chauncey, and Chauncey's helped him develop every year he's been in the league.
He's only been in the league for 2 years, bro.
He's developed. He's technically been in the league for more than 2 years. He's been on the NBA scene for 2 years, but he's been in the league for like 3-4 years already with the G League.
But you just said the G League don't matter. You just said the G League don't matter. They don't do anything down there.
Chauncey helped Scoop develop, bro. Them coaches that had Dame, they didn't fucking help Dame develop. Dame did that on his own. Anthony Simons, only reason why he developed because he had CJ and he had Dame. So they helped bring him along. Those coaches didn't help him.
Scoot averaged 14. Now he averaging 11. He's basically averaging the same. But
he's playing better. His IQ is better. His decision making has been better. His IQ has been better. He's been playing a better overall brand of basketball. And that has to do with Chauncey Billups.
Then why aren't they better? I'm still trying to figure this out. How can you say they develop all these players, but they are not where they should be?
Everybody has to buy in. I can help you develop as an individual player. I can help Daniel develop as an individual player. But if everybody on my team is not buying into my schemes, offensively and defensively, how can I like Monty Williams? Nobody bought into Monty Williams, and they thought Monty Williams was a great coach. And what did he do for the Pistons? Nothing at all.
Look, I got a question. When the Spurs were bad, those like 3 years, did everybody buy in?
I don't think so. I don't think.
Who do you think? What decent player on that team do you think not bought in? When they had Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Keldon Johnson, not Titus, Trey Jones. Who did you think not bought in? Because if you're taking in the Spurs, if everybody's bought in, why were they so bad then? I'm trying to figure this out. They were terrible. Like, come on. Like, no pop team you would think would be that bad. That's bad. But wouldn't be so great. That's what I'm saying. The Blazers, with all this development, all this talent, they should be better. They should have 19 wins at least.
22, 23. 22, 23. Bro, do you see that look at their rosters, bro? You talking about decent rosters? They're 2022, 2023 roster. Bro, you said they had a bunch of decent players on their team and they were still losing games. You just said that.
I said who on their team did you think bought in? Who did you think?
You said what decent player on their team did not buy in? That's exactly what you said.
Okay, and I said from Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy, who did you think bought in? Because you just said you don't think everybody bought in.
Bro, do you look at their roster? They had Dominique Barlow, Charles Bailey, he's okay. Bates Diop, he's not even on the roster. Brenningham. Julian Champagne, Zach Collins, George Niang, Devontae Graham, Jordan Hall, Elias Johnson, Keldon Johnson, Stanley Johnson, Trey Jones. That roster is not good. Why didn't you think they weren't winning? There were no good players on there besides Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, who wasn't even really coming into his own yet. And Jimmy Sohan wasn't even the player that he is
Charles,
now.
You need
to come on.
Charles, once again, I'm gonna say this again because I feel like I always gotta say this again. Answer the question from the decent players that were on the team. Who do you think bought in? Because you still have not that answer.
The only niggas that bought in was the niggas you named: Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Trey Jones, and probably Keldon Johnson. There's still 12 other players.
Okay, but those are your good players, right? Those are your good players. So so now we're going.
How many
to
players
the
are on the court at the same time?
So now five.
So everybody has to buy in, and those players weren't as good as they are now.
Bro, but okay. So we're gonna okay. I get it.
Bro, that roster was terrible. Even if I have 4 players out of 15 buying in. You really expect to win games like that?
But you have the Spurs culture, right? You just said that, right?
Bro, it's 4 players out of
Right.
15.
But you have
Oh
Pop in
my
the
God.
Spurs. You just told me they have the Spurs. You said that, right?
I can't, bro. Yes, I'm popping the Spurs, but if these players are not buying in, I can't do nothing about that. Only other thing I can do is trade them or get some other players in that I think will buy in. Hence, their whole roster changed over the very next year.
It's the same roster. They just added 2 dudes.
Bro, the
It's
following year
literally
after that,
outside of
the
Wemby,
following
it's
year,
literally like the same team besides 2 people. Well, major players. Major. They
okay,
brought in
now you can
2
say that. You
major
can say
players.
that major. Yes, you can say, bro. After that, they got Cedi Osman. He's a buy-in player. They got even the
And
roster
where is he
still,
at
but
now? Where is he at now?
I've never said the roster was good. The roster was still, but they still got more. They got more players that were willing to buy into the system.
Who else bought in?
Doug McDermott. They got Doug
Okay, so
McDermott
that's
the first.
5. So that's 5.
Steady,
That's 5. Okay.
steady.
So we got 5 buy-in players right now there, right?
And then now next year you have Blake Wisely. You have next year was Brenningham. Next year was Champagny. So now you have a lot of players who were the rookies who came over. They're playing key important roles on this team. So now they're gonna buy in because they want more tick. They want more time on the court. They got rid of a bunch of players who wasn't gonna buy in, and now they have more players
And
that's
this is
willing to buy in.
last year's roster, right?
This is 2022, 2023, 2024. Yes, last year's roster.
And they were still ass. Okay. They were still butt. It doesn't like my thing
Okay,
is
bro.
this is all
Okay.
I'm just saying. You keep saying Chauncey Billups is this great coach and he's developed. I don't see it. I don't see development because if that was the
It's
case,
the same shit with Jason
they would be
Kidd.
better. They would be better. What about
It's the
Jason Kidd?
same thing with Jason Kidd. When Jason Kidd was first coaching and shit like that, they wouldn't Jason Kidd teams weren't that good. I mean, he made the playoffs with the Bucks that year. I think he went 500 another year, but he got fired. He helped those players develop, and they still wasn't that good. And he got fired. Now he's on the Dallas Mavericks. It's the same thing. Jason Kidd and Chauncey Billups, they're not the same exact coach, but they're the same coach as far as they're both brilliant. They both can help players develop individually, but the team has to buy in. That's the only way your team's going to be good, if they buy in.
We spent too damn long on the Blazers, bro, and they're trash.
That's because you said Chauncey Billups was a bad coach, and he's not. You said Willie Green was a good coach, and that nigga's terrible.
Who's been better? Who's been better the last couple of years? Answer the question.
Coaching wise, I'm still saying Chauncey Billups. They may have a better record than him, but I'm still saying Chauncey Billups.
Then how come if he's better? How come
because it takes talent to win? It takes talent to win.
I see a lot of talent on this team. I see DeAndre Ayton. I see Simons. I see Shaedon Sharpe.
Come on now, DeAndre Ayton got traded because he wasn't buying into the Suns.
Whoa! I heard you say he could basically be Joel Embiid. That's a talented player in my eyes.
That still doesn't take away from the fact that he's
still averaging a double-double. I mean, he's still playing. He's still averaging good numbers. So, I mean, he got some talent over there. I mean, I'm just saying, if you was that good,
has to buy in.
If he was this good of a coach, they will at least be fighting for a playing spot. They're not fighting for a playing spot. I don't think he's that good of a coach as you think he is. I don't think that. And that's why I think he's going to lose his job. If Willie Green lose the damn job, he lose the job too. I don't really care. I can care less about them. Willie Green has done a better job. Yes, he had better players. But if you think Chauncey Billups is this guy, they should be better than what they are. They should be, but they're not. They're still bad. They're still a bad team. That's why they deserve an F. The next team, the Utah Jazz, they deserve an F.
Yeah, they deserve an F too.
They haven't done anything.
Yeah, they have not done anything. And then on top of that, they have not. I don't think they've drafted well. Isaiah Collier, he was their best pickup. Keontae George has been in and out the lineup, and he hasn't really showing you guys anything. They deserve an F.
The Utah Jazz, outside of Laurie Marketing, who isn't even having a Laurie Marketing type year. John Collins, I don't know what he's out there doing. Colin Sexton is okay. Jordan Clarkson's been in and out. Walker Kessler's had a good year because last year he wasn't really good last year. And they don't know if they want to make trades or not. But they're 10-29. That's basically third or fourth worst in the league. F.
Yeah.
Now the last team, the New Orleans Pelicans, I gave them an F plus, and I don't even think F plus exists. F plus.
Yeah, this is why I say they so tricky to grade, because it's like if we just going off what we've seen, of course they're an F. But
Right,
bro,
man.
like injuries is that's literally all it is has been with them. Because if they weren't injured, they wouldn't even be 10-32 right now.
I think
They'd probably be in the play-in or fighting for the play-in.
I feel like I thought that was nice. You too damn nice, bro. At the halfway point, what are the Pelicans right now? They are 10-32. They are an F. There's no trickiness to this. Whatever you are now is what you are. You are an F. They have been terrible. They don't even fight. Even when they do have majority of their good players, they still be getting beat down. It don't matter. Even when they had DeJounte, CJ, and Trey Murphy, who's having a good year, still losing, bro. They are free W coupon. The Pelicans are F plus. They're terrible.